Next is individual needs. Third, individuals bring into the group their own needs, not just the physical ones for food and shelter, which are largely catered for by the payment of wages these days, but also the psychological ones, that is recognition, a sense of doing something worthwhile, status, and the deeper needs to give to and receive from other people in a working situation. These individual needs are perhaps more profound than we sometimes realize. They spring from the depths of our common life as human beings. They must or they may attract us to or repel us from any given group. Underlying them all is the fact that people need one another not just to survive but to achieve and develop personality. So, how to generate ideas? When you are stuck in problem solving, that is, when your techniques have applied successfully in the past are not working, try a more creative thinking approach. You may be trying to dig the same hole deeper and worrying about the problem like a terrier when perhaps you should be digging the hole somewhere else. So, how to make decisions or generate ideas? So, imagine that your company has been expanding rapidly over the past 12 months and sales are up by 50%, but costs and overheads have also increased, so your operating profits has fallen. So decisions need to be made and fast, but first you are going to need to consider your options. We make decisions every single day, and as we explore in this, we take decisions that are simple. Some of our decisions will also be routine, that we make them without giving them much thoughts. But difficult or challenging decisions demands more consideration. And let us see what sort of decisions that involves. First is uncertainty. Many of the facts may be unknown. Next is the complexity. There can be many interrelated factors to consider. Next is high risk consequences. The impact of the decision may be significant. And next is alternatives. There may be various alternatives and each with its own set of uncertainties and consequences. Next is interpersonal issues. You need to predict how different people will react. When you are making a decision that involves complex issues like these, you also need to engage your problem solving as well as decision making skills. It pays to you an effective, robust process in these circumstances to improve the quality of your decision and to achieve consistently good results. So, a systematic approach for making decisions will involve real life business situations. Decisions can often fail because the best alternatives are not clear at the outset, or key factors are not considered as part of the process. To stop this happening, you need to bring problem solving and decision making strategies together to clarify your understanding. A logical and ordered process can help you to do this by making sure that you address all of the critical elements needed for a successful outcome. Working through this process systematically will reduce the likelihood of overlooking important factors. The 7-step approach has: create a constructive environment, investigate the situation in detail, generate good alternatives, explore your options, select the best situation or solution, evaluate your plan, and communicate your decision and take action. So, creating a constructive environment requires decision that can become complex when they involve or affect other people. So, it helps to create a constructive environment in which to explore the situation and weigh up your options. Often, when you are responsible for making a decision, you have to rely on others to implement it. So it pays to gain their support. It is most appropriate to make the decision within a group. Conduct a stakeholder analysis to identify who to include in the process. To build commitment from others, make sure that these stakeholders are well represented within your decision making group. If you are not sure how much say other people should have in the final decision, to avoid groupthink, encourage people to contribute to the discussion, debates and analysis without any fear of the other participants rejecting their ideas. Make sure everyone recognizes that the objective is to make the best decision possible in the circumstances. This is not the time for people to promote their own preferred alternative. Next is investigate the situation in detail. Before you can begin to make a decision, you need to make sure that you fully understand the situation. It may be that your objective can be approached in isolation, but it is more likely that there are a number of interrelated factors to consider. Changes made in one department, for example, could have knocked on effects elsewhere, making the changes counterproductive. Start by considering the decision in the context of the problem it is intended to address. Use the void technique to determine whether the started problem is the real issue or a symptom of something deeper. You can also use root cause analysis to trace a problem of its origins. Once you have uncovered its root cause, define the problem using appreciation to extract the greatest amount of information from what you know, and inductive reasoning to draw sound conclusions from the facts. You can also use the problem's definition process to gain a better understanding of what is going on. Consider using CATFO, explore the problem from multiple perspectives and to make sure you are not missing any important information. Next is generate good alternatives. The wider the options you explore, the better your final decision is likely to be. Generating a number of different options may seem to make your decision more complicated at first, but the act of coming up with alternatives forces you to dig deeper and look at the problem from different angles. This is when it can be helpful to employ a variety of creative thinking techniques. These can help you to step outside your normal patterns or thinking and come up with some truly innovative solutions. Our creativity tools as a comprehensive set of tools and techniques that can help to generate great ideas. Next, brainstorming is the most popular method of generating ideas, while reverse brainstorming works in a similar way but starts by asking how you can achieve the opposite outcome from the desired one and then turning the solution to its head. Other useful methods for getting a group of people producing ideas include Crawford-Slip working technique or round-robin brainstorming. Both are effective ways of ensuring that everyone's ideas are heard and given equal weightage, regardless of their position or power within the team. Don't forget to consider how people outside the group might influence or be affected by your decision. You can do this by using tools like the reframing matrix, which uses the 4 P's, that is product, planning, potential and people, as a way to gather different perspectives. You can also ask outsiders to join the discussion or use the perceptual positions technique to encourage existing participants to adopt different functional perspectives. If you have a few or unsatisfactory options, try using concepts to take a step back from the problem and approach it from a wider perspective. Appreciative inquiry to look at the problem based on what is going right rather than what is going wrong. This can help when the people involved in the decision are too close to the problem. Next, explore your options. When you are satisfied that you have a good selection of realistic alternatives, it is time to evaluate the feasibility, risk, and implications of each one. Almost every decision involves some degree of risk. Use risk analysis to consider the objectivity by adopting a structured approach to assess threats and evaluate the probability of adverse events occur and what they might cost to manage. Then prioritize the risk you identify with a risk impact or probability chart. Another way to evaluate your option is to consider the potential consequences of each one. Other considerations are whether your resources are adequate, the solution matches your objectives, and decision is likely to work in the long term. Next is select the best solution. Once you have evaluated the alternatives, the next step is to make sure your decision is getting implemented. If one particular alternative is clearly better than the rest, your choice will be obvious. However, if you still have several competing options, there are plenty of tools that will help you to decide between them. If you have various criteria to consider, use decision matrix analysis to compare them reliably and rigorously. Or if you want to determine their relative importance, conduct a pair compared analysis to decide which one should carry the most weightage in your decision. Decision trees are also useful when choosing between different financial options. These help you to lay options out clearly and bring the likelihood of your project succeeding or failing into the decision making process.